Chapter 3: The Two Answers of the Colonized. In chapters 1 and 2 of Albert Memmi's The Colonizer and the Colonized, we looked at two portraits: the colonizer, trapped in privilege and bad faith, and the colonized, crushed by oppression and humiliation. But Memmi doesn't stop there. He asks a crucial question: how do the colonized respond to this situation? Do they accept their fate? Do they resist? That's the focus of Chapter 3, The Two Answers of the Colonized. And the answers are not simple. They are contradictory, painful, and shaped by the brutal realities of colonial life. Let's dive in. Part 1: The Colonized Dilemma. First, Memmi reminds us of the impossible position the colonized are in. Everywhere they look, the colonized face inequality, in work, in education, in culture, even in how they are perceived as human beings. They are constantly told they are inferior, and at the same time, they are denied the means to prove otherwise. So the colonized are trapped in a dilemma. They must either, 1, accept the system by trying to assimilate into the colonizer's world. 2, reject the system by resisting the colonizer and reclaiming their own identity. These are the two answers Memmi lays out, and each one comes with its own contradictions. Part 2: Answer 1: Assimilation. The first answer is assimilation. Some colonized people think, if I can adopt the colonizer's ways, maybe I can escape my oppression. So they learn the colonizer's language, they wear his clothes, they practice his religion, they study his culture. They might even try to distance themselves from their own people, hoping to be seen as civilized. But here's the tragedy. Assimilation almost never works. Why? Because no matter how much the colonized try to resemble the colonizer, they will never be fully accepted. The colonizer still sees them as inferior. They might be tolerated, perhaps even admired in rare cases, but always as exceptions, never as equals. And in trying to assimilate, the colonized often lose their connection to their own community. They feel alienated, caught between two worlds, rejected by the colonizer, and distrusted by their fellow colonized people who see them as traitors or imitators. Memmi's verdict is harsh. Assimilation is a dead end. It offers hope, but delivers humiliation. Part 3: Answer 2: Rebellion. The second answer is rebellion. Instead of imitating the colonizer, the colonized reject him. They turn away from the colonizer's language, culture, and religion, and reassert the value of their own traditions, their own identity, their own people. This rejection can take many forms. It might be cultural, reviving local languages, arts, and customs. It might be political, organizing movements, demanding rights, or even taking up arms. Rebellion is powerful because it restores dignity. It says, we are not inferior. We are not children. We are human beings with our own worth. But rebellion is also dangerous. The colonizer rarely tolerates resistance, and repression can be brutal. Revolts are crushed, leaders are imprisoned or killed, and entire communities may suffer as punishment. So while rebellion offers the possibility of liberation, it also carries enormous risks. Part 4: The Contradiction of Rebellion. Here's where Memmi gets even deeper. Rebellion doesn't just mean saying no to the colonizer. It also means redefining what it means to be colonized. But this isn't easy. After years of humiliation, the colonized may struggle to truly believe in their own value. Sometimes rebellion slips into simple inversion. The colonized may reject everything from the colonizer, even if some of it could be useful or beneficial. In this way, resistance can become reactive, defined not by what the colonized want to be, but only by what they refuse to be. This is the painful paradox of rebellion. It is necessary for liberation, but it can also trap the colonized in opposition without yet creating a positive vision of freedom. Part 5: Between Assimilation and Rebellion. Most colonized people, Memmi says, live somewhere in between these two answers. They may try to assimilate in some ways, learning the colonizer's language for work, for example, while also resisting in others, holding on to their traditions at home. But the tension never fully disappears. Every colonized person must navigate this contradiction, constantly pulled between two worlds that cannot be reconciled. Conclusion: The two answers. So what does Chapter 3 teach us? The colonized face two main responses to oppression: assimilation, which promises escape but delivers rejection and alienation; rebellion, which restores dignity but risks violence and repression. Neither path is simple, Neither offers an easy solution, but together they show the deep psychological and political struggle of living under colonization. Memmi's insight is powerful. Colonization doesn't just exploit resources. It forces people into impossible choices, shaping not just their actions, but their very identities. And that's Chapter 3 of Albert Memmi's The Colonizer and the Colonized. We've seen how the colonized respond, torn between the false promise of assimilation and the dangerous hope of rebellion. In the next episode, we'll move to Chapter 4, The Colonizer Who Refuses, where Memmi looks at those rare colonizers who try to reject the system and the price they pay for doing so. If you're finding this series helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Which response do you think is stronger, assimilation or rebellion? Or is the truth somewhere in between? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.